Chris Metzen's been calling for people to come home, to return to WoW. But what does it mean to return to WoW in 2024? Let's see what Zuggypoo has to say.
So I made a video kind of like this last year where I talked about coming back to WoW in 2023, and well, I took another break again because I did have a point in time where I was
What a noob. What a noob. Taking a break. Who takes a break from WoW? You cannot take breaks. No, I'm just kidding. It's perfectly healthy and fine. If you want to take a break from WoW, that's all right. You can always come back.
Having that much fun with the game, so I stopped playing to do other stuff. But it's 2024, and WoW is a lot different than it was when I made that video. Well, not that it is a lot different, but it is a lot different of a climate, and there's a lot more things coming, and a lot of things that are in the game that weren't in the game before. So I wanted to talk about WoW in 2024, all the different versions, all the things we have to look forward to, all the craziness that's happening, if it's going to be good, if it's going to be bad. Well, I don't actually know if it's going to be good or bad. I just have my opinions, and if you want to listen to them, then grab some popcorn and sit down. Now, retail...
Yeah, real quick. I mean, there is a shit ton of versions of this game right now, so there is no way that you could come back and not find a version of WoW you like. Even if you're a freaking Fortnite player, there's a version of this game now that you can play. So, I mean, I'm going to let him summarize everything, but yeah, there is definitely a good time to come back if that's the case.
Is the one we're going to start with because it is just the main World of Warcraft. So let's talk about that one first. And I'm going to be honest, retail WoW, I do not have my hopes up for right now. Dragonflight is not like something that I'm looking forward to playing. I'm already not playing it serious. I'm not raiding. I'm not doing Mythic Plus. I'll hop on every once in a while and do some mount farming or do some fun like achievements from the exploration tab at Dragon Isles, but I'm not doing the high level stuff right now. It's too much for me. I don't care anymore.
That's fine.
And Season 4...
That's fine. It's not a bad thing. You don't have to care about the season. You don't have to do the season. That's the good thing about WoW right now. But I will say, Dragonflight quick summary, the one thing I'll say about it, good gameplay, not good story. That's it. The content cadence has been great. The gameplay has been great. Dragon riding, great. Season 3, probably one of the better seasons I've played in this game. The rating's been pretty good. Overall, good core gameplay, really shitty story. Story was just bleh. Iridicron's good. That's about it. Other than that, I could do without the Dragonflight story, to be honest.
Of Dragonflight, the last season is about to come out, and it's just like Season 4 of Shadowlands. I'm not interested. There's nothing new. It's just a remix of all the old stuff, and then they give us recolored rewards. Maybe they'll give us some new stuff, but there's nothing really that's jumping at me in retail right now. I already did all the raids. I don't really feel like doing them again. I'm sure I probably will do them again because there'll be an achievement like last time. But
there is going to be an achievement and a mount to be had for the doing them in their awakened. It's the faded version of the new raids.
I'm just going to do them once, and then that's about it. The one thing in retail that I will probably check out, though, and I'm not saying that I'm excited, but I'm interested to see how it's going to turn out, is the time-running Pandemonium event. The Mr. Pandaria new event that they're doing. They just announced this thing. This thing has been sitting on the roadmap for a while, but they just kind of announced what it's really going to be, and it looks a little interesting, and I don't know how I feel about it. This thing is supposed to be a limited time event where you start, I assume, on a new seasonal server on retail, which is weird. They're doing seasonal servers on retail.
It's been wild. Time running Pandemonium. I did not mute myself. I'm not muted. You guys are such bitches. It's been pretty crazy. If I was, it was an accident. The whole time running Pandemonium event, we're going to check out a video about it after this one. But I did watch people stream it off stream, and it looks really cool. The whole thing about the infinite Dragonflight and the storylines and the lore attachments that they got going on with it, it looks really, really good. The speed running of it all, the way it breaks the game, it does remind me kind of Corrupted Gear towards the end of BFA and how fun that was, because it broke the game. But I think this whole time running Pandemonium thing could be a new way that people level up through the game. Maybe just bringing back old expansions, at the end of an expansion like this, just to kind of bring everybody's alts up to level.
Now, you start a new character, you level at a faster pace than normal, and you get to go through all the quests and dungeons and raids of Mr. Pandaria, but they're remixed. And they're using all the new Dragonflight abilities, classes, mechanics, all that stuff, but we're doing the old Mr. Pandaria content. And there's rewards that are new rewards that are remixed of the old rewards. I don't know. I've missed out on a lot of the Mists of Pandaria rewards, so I kind of want to do it just to get the old rewards and the new rewards, because it does say you can collect account-wide cosmetics, new and old, so some of the old stuff is going to be there. But I just don't know how this event's going to play out. I'm, like, kind of excited, but, you know, at the same time, it's Mists of Pandaria. It's not necessarily my favorite thing to see. I feel like Mists of Pandaria wasn't that bad. It didn't really need remixing, you know. Give us, like, Warlords of Draenor remixed, so where it's actually good this time. Ooh. What this does make me think, is this them trying to get out of making classic Mists of Pandaria? Because if this does well, I could totally see them just doing this more with other...
I actually think classic Mists of Pandaria would be better than freaking Cataclysm. I don't understand why Cataclysm was made into a classic version. I think Mists of Pandaria probably has more fans than Classic does. Or, not Classic, but then, what the hell, Cataclysm does. But, all in all, I think Mists of Pandaria might have been the choice. You know, when some people were commenting that's because of the return to China. I don't know if that's true. You know, but Mists of Pandaria, China's back in WoW. It's a way for them to catch up, level up their alts and stuff. But all in all, I think Mists of Pandaria was the choice because it's actually the best, least played expansion. I'll say it. It was the best, least played expansion because people never gave Mists a chance because of the pandas. They got upset by it, all that shit. Cataclysm had already kind of downturned WoW at that point. But Mists of Pandaria to me was like the best expansion. Like the best, worst expansion. That's what I would say. It's one of my favorites. It was a great time for leveling. Great story. I enjoyed it. But overall, I think a lot of people just, you know, shoved it aside and never even tried it.
Expansions, and then they don't have to keep the classic timeline going on. But we'll see what they do. We'll see. And of course, for retail
Don't worry,
WoW,
friends,
later on this year,
He's saying,
we do
Daddy
have
loves
look.
cummies num num in my tum tum.
I'm not muted. I could literally see the audio, guys. I could fucking see the audio going out to the stream. What do you guys think? This is my first time streaming? I'm not fucking muted. Fuck you guys.
Forward to the War Within. Now, I'm gonna be completely honest, retail expansions aren't really having me excited like they used to. Of course, I'm gonna play it. Of course, the first month or two, I'm gonna be on it 10 hours a day doing all the stuff. But the gameplay loop at the end game of Mythic Plus and raiding, it just kind of isn't me anymore. There is the new Delves thing, and there's some other new stuff that could be fun, but I'm not gonna have my hopes up quite yet. I think the war bands, though, are a really good idea. All the stuff that comes along with them.
I'm very excited for Delves. Finally, open world content. Open world content's going to be part of the new, vault every week. So I'm very excited for Delves. I hope it's the beginning of the revamp of open world content.
Very great additions to the game. I wish they would just add it to the game now instead of making us wait until the pre-patch, but I'll be patient a little bit, I guess. Now, there was one other thing they added to retail out of nowhere that took everybody by surprise, okay? Ever since they announced the 2024 roadmap, there was a little pirate flag sitting there with patch 10.2.6, and nobody knew what this was going to be at first. We all assumed it was going to be some pirate quest line where you probably get some pirate-themed rewards, some boring PvE event that nobody cares about a week later.
Damn it, I wanted the boring PvE event. I was really hoping it was some big open world content, like some kind of pirate invasion of Booty Bay. That would have been really cool to me. Plunderstorm, I'm not going to hate on it because I think it was, it was fine for what it was. I don't PvP, so it wasn't really for me. But I will say it was a good idea by their, on their part. It brought a lot of people back to the game, I think. And it was fun for what it was, but I did want an open world PvE event. I did.
That's not what it was. The day it came out, they announced and released in the same day a whole new World of Warcraft game mode, Plunderstorm, which is their own battle royale, which you don't need to be in the MMO to play. So anybody jumps into it, starts. It's an even playing field for all players to jump in and go. And this is amazing. I'm going to make a full video about Plunderstorm soon because I've been playing it a lot and I kind of have more things to say. I do want to say a little bit in this video to give my feels about it. Plunderstorm is awesome. Okay, I think it's a great way to look at the game. It's great for the future of the game. I grinded all the way to level 40. I've gotten wins. I've gotten, I feel like I'm decent at it, but, I'm probably trash compared to a lot of people. And it's just PvP made more fun. Because yes, this is PvP in World of Warcraft, but this is not World of Warcraft PvP. There's like 10 abilities total. Anybody can jump in. There's no gear that you have to go and get.
Yeah, the simplicity of it is it's far more accessible. Right now, PvP in WoW is inaccessible completely. You got to know every single class. You got to know their cooldowns. You got to know their abilities. You got to know how to counter their abilities. It's and it requires an encyclopedia amount of knowledge. Whereas Plunderstorm, you just jump in. You got the 10 abilities. You figure them out. You understand what everyone's got right away because it's visually easy to figure out, and it's fun to watch too. I do think they're going to bring it back. We know it's ending on April 30th, but I bet you Plunderstorm's going to come back in some way, shape, or form. And I think it was a good addition to the game.
Beforehand to have an advantage.
What's up, Atia?
It's just a fun event, and it could be added on so much into the future. And I know that they're going to take stuff from this game. They are testing mechanics from this to put into the main game, and I hope they do. I like the tab targeting being automatic. I like the action combat. I like the mobility. I like having less stuff.
I like
on
the
my
combat
UI.
style.
I like there being no add-ons. This is a gem. I hope they keep adding on to Plunderstorm, and I hope it just gets bigger and bigger. And I hope they definitely take notes for Plunderstorm to put into the main game. Now let's talk about my more favored version of World of Warcraft, and that is Classic. Now, Classic Wrath of the Lich King is coming to an end, and with that, the real Classic comes to an end. I don't care what anybody says. Cataclysm is not Classic. I made a whole video about this back a couple months ago before they announced Cataclysm, and yeah, they announced Cataclysm. I still think they shouldn't have. I think it's a waste of time and resources, but hey, it's probably just free money for Blizzard. I personally am not going to play Cataclysm, okay? I played Cataclysm back in the day. It was fun for the time, but I don't really have the itch to do that content because the raids were hard, the dungeons were hard. I don't hop on Classic WoW to play hard content. I come on Classic WoW for the vibes, the feel, just playing an RPG and having fun with the boys. Crack open a beer.
Yeah, there's nothing hard about Classic. I think that's why people enjoy it. It's a very casual scene, casual raiding scene, very immersive. Those are things that I want them to bring back to the game, most definitely. I don't like this super high-end, extremely hardcore mythic raiding scene. I think it's too much, too punishing. It's fine if they just offer it as cosmetics, but beyond heroic, I think the game just gets extremely difficult and silly and inaccessible. That's why only like freaking 2% of the player base ever gets into mythic raids. So going forward, I wonder what they're going to do with raiding. I feel like they've kind of taken a step forward. Dragonflight was better than Shadowlands in terms of difficulty. It was balanced better. So we'll see where raiding goes in retail. But definitely, if you're a classic raider, you just enjoy a good time. There's no real difficulty there.
And go into a raid that has 3 mechanics. And to be honest, I do feel like Cataclysm might be the end. I really thought they were going to do Mists of Pandaria Classic, but with this new Mists of Pandaria mode going on into retail, it makes me think that maybe they're just not going to do that, and this is the end here. I feel like they shouldn't have done that, and Wrath should have been the end, but, they're going to do what they're going to do. That's pretty much all I have to say about Cataclysm Classic, because, well, I'm not playing it, so I'm not really even caught up with any of the changes or what's really going on there. I know people are playing the beta and having fun, or is it maybe it's the alpha? I don't know what the difference is, but I'm more interested in Classic Era. And, well, not really Classic Era, but it's on the Classic Era. I'm more interested in Season of Discovery. I played Season of Discovery Phase 1 when it came out.
I will say, if anything good has come out of Classic, it is Season of Discovery. Season of Discovery is interesting. It's fun. I enjoy looking at the lore of it. I like how they're connecting it to retail a lot. With Xal'atath popping in and out between them. We recently talked about in yesterday's stream about the Death Knight, the first Death Knight ever with free will. That's canon. That is canon in retail now. That guy, he is truly the first Death Knight with free will recorded in retail and in SOD. So that's really cool. Speaking of someone who's rated Mythic, the rated content doesn't matter, and the effort they spend making Mythic rating content could be better spent elsewhere. Couldn't agree more. That's very true. Stoic, he said, having different levels of difficulty would help bring players back. Yeah. I think a lot of players are kind of done with rating content, all the add-ons, all the bloat, everything else that comes with it. A lot of people raid. It's my favorite part of the game. I'm just saying it could be better in terms of what Mythic raid offers and what Heroic raid offers. Most definitely. Mythic raiding is a competitive raid scene. It's really just built for Race to World first, and then after that, it's just, it's just sits there. It's content they made for no reason. It has a stupid arbitrary lockout system that doesn't allow it or make it accessible to a lot of people. If they just lifted the lockout system, Mythic Raiders from Mythic Guilds would be willing to work with other people to just clear bosses every week, but they won't because they're worried they're going to get a stupid lockout. And Mythic raiding, all in all, raiding to one-shot mechanics is not fun. It's not. It's fun to raid and kill bosses, and of course there should be some difficulty involved, but 36 one-shot mechanics where one guy fucks up and the whole raid dies, I don't see how that's fun at all. But the good thing about Dragonflight is it really has made, you play the game how you want to play the game kind of thing. Most definitely. Or just get rid of LFR because normal and heroic do the same effort. Yes, normal is the new LFR. That's the truth. Normal used to be difficult in a way, and it really isn't anymore. LFR is really just like a story mode. Do you just want to go experience the story of the raid? That's really what LFR has become at this point. Now, people do mythic content to gloat over people that can't do mythic content. Very true. Very true. I'm mostly satisfied with LFR, and people take heroic and even normals way too seriously. Really? People take normals seriously these days? I'm surprised. I always thought normal was just like this easy pug. You just go run in and do it kind of thing. But hey, maybe I'm wrong. Yeah, because running 10 million weak auras, logging in and worrying about your parse, and having to play a viable class is everyone's idea of fun. Yeah, true. That's literally Mythic rating summarized right there.
The beginning of the year, and I grinded it super hard. But then Phase 2 came out, and I genuinely just did not care. Some of the events looked cool, like the Blood Moon, whenever that was that boss nobody could kill for a few days. That looked awesome. Nobragon, it's not necessarily my most favorite place that I would have turned into a raid, but I'll get to it eventually, because I did start leveling up again in Season of Discovery, and I'm having a blast, and I'm gonna get up to level 50. I know I'm behind everybody, but I'm getting there, and I'm gonna make more Season of Discovery videos soon. There's actually one in the works right now. But Season of Discovery Phase 3 just did release. And with that, there's Sunken Temple Raid. There's tons of new runes, which are abilities. There's tons of new items, all kinds of new stuff for your classes. So if you haven't played Season of Discovery somehow, and you want to know what your classic classes are like with a little bit of remix, but still in the classic world, vanilla world, go play Season of Discovery. That's what I'm going to be mostly playing. This is the version of WoW that I feel like has the most potential. It could become something truly great. And I'm actually super excited for it to get to level 60, because I'm sure the level 60 content is going to be absolutely crazy. And there's actually going to be so much to do at level 60, especially if they just drop all the raids at once. I doubt they will. I'm sure it'll take a little while, and they'll phase through all the raids, but when all the raids are out and there's really so much to do at level...
Look, I will say, Season of Discovery has a ton of potential. The most potential? No, it's retail still. It has to be. I know some people will sit here and they'll probably comment, oh, Season of Discovery is the future of WoW. It's really not. It's really not. I promise you, if Blizzard ever released the numbers, the majority of people still play retail WoW. That's still where the majority of the money is made, and that's still the future of WoW. What I love about Season of Discovery is I feel like they're learning a lot from it, and they'll be able to use things from Season of Discovery to help retail WoW be a better game. That's the best thing I think that could come out of Season of Discovery. Is Season of Discovery ever going to become retail WoW? No. No, that's not going to happen. I think they'll continue to build on it, and it'll be great. But at the end of the day, WoW is going to live or die by retail. That's the truth.
Level 60, SOD is
and that's not an opinion. That's a fact. That is an actual fact. And tomorrow, if retail got deleted and Season of Discovery was the only thing that existed, this game would cease to exist within a couple of years. It's just not going to make the money they will off of, that they make in retail off of Season of Discovery.
Something crazy. But then even after SOD, what are they going to do after Season of Discovery? Well, they could keep the server permanent forever, or they could do another season, call it Season of something else, and then just do it again, but with different abilities this time. You do different raids along the way, or you just keep the raids that we did in Season of Discovery, and you start over again at level 1 with the time-gated leveling, and add more raids along the way. So eventually we get to level 25, and there's 3 raids to do at level 25 instead of just 1. Now, that might be overwhelming for some, but I think it's awesome. I don't care. Now, Classic Era is still a thing that some people play. I know it's not as popular as it was a few months ago, but hey, if you're playing regular Classic Era, just good old-fashioned vanilla, and you enjoy it, stick with it, because let me tell you something. If anything, vanilla Classic Era is going to be the one that always has booms every few months, because every few months or every few years, people always have that itch for just good old classic vanilla WoW, and then they'll go and hop over to the Classic Era servers. And there's also
Maybe.
hardcore. And
Hardcore will always keep it a little
I don't
bit
even
alive.
know if people are still playing that. I know they have a new solo mode. It's not really my thing. I'm probably not going to do it unless maybe one day I do another video series about hardcore. But just playing casually for fun, I don't really like hardcore like that. I don't like being on the edge of my seat, being super anxious.
Hardcore was great for stream content. It was fun. It brought the community together. It was interesting to see people, get wrecked and die in crazy ways. But I mean, the replayability and longevity of hardcore. I mean, how many times are you gonna make a character? I don't know. How many times are you gonna die to a murloc? Me, a couple, that's for sure. But beyond that, I don't think I'll ever go back to hardcore. And probably a lot of people feel the same way.
Over every little move that I do in the game, I'm good. But hey, if you like that, you know what? That's you. That's good. There's actually a ton of versions of the game to play right now. Let me think. There's retail. Soon there's going to be the Pandaria event in retail. There's Plunderstorm. There's Cataclysm coming up. There's Classic Era. There's Sod. There's Classic Hardcore. Classic Hardcore Self-Found, if you count that as another one. There's a lot of WoW to play right now, and it's kind of overwhelming if you do want to play all of them. So if I were you, I would probably just pick one, maybe two, and kind of just focus on those if you really want to play WoW like that right now. But anyways, that's my thoughts, my feelings on World of Warcraft in 2024. There's a lot to go, a lot to look forward to, and I hope everybody has a great time on whatever version of the game they play. I have a Plunderstorm video and a Season of Discovery video coming soon, so make sure you subscribe. I'm going to try to stream also, so if you want to go follow me on there, that's cool. And yeah, I'll see you guys later. Thanks for watching.
Yeah, I will say, look, the great thing about WoW right now is this final screen he showed right here. You get access to all this shit for the price of your WoW sub. Literally, for the price of your WoW sub. Now, if you want to play Dragonflight, you're going to have to buy the expansion and stuff like that. But the rest of this, you get this shit for $15 a month. Literally. So it's a great, I mean, the WoW sub has never been more valuable. You can pick which kind you want to play. I would not suggest playing all of them. That's definitely kind of going to be like you're spreading yourself too thin. But what I will say is, it keeps a good, healthy subscriber base, and a big, healthy subscriber base is really good for the type of game I play, which is retail. It's always good to have a lot of people paying, for development. That's a good thing. Access to all this time-gated grind content. Subscriber count is divided among 7 variants. Yeah, but most likely, nobody is just a Plunderstorm player or just a hardcore classic player. There's a lot of bounce between these two. I feel like there's ebbs and flows to the content. Where when classic SOD has new content, some people will go there and then they'll come back to retail or back and forth. Most people are not just an Andy. They're not just a retail Andy or a Season of Discovery Andy. They pop between a lot of the stuff. Whatever there's fun stuff to do, people will go play. For me, I play retail 99.9% of the time. I've done a little bit of plunder, done a little bit of hardcore, but other than that, I just sit here. But it's fun, and it's nice to see that they offer so much. 100% true. It can cause problems with spending players too much. For new players, this may be confusing. Maybe. But what, like I said, wherever the hot content is, that's where the majority of people are going to go. I promise you, when the War Within pre-patch drops and the expansion launches, you'll see 90% of the players sitting right here. Even the ones who are like, I'll never play that, they'll come back and they'll play it for a little bit.